Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Friday, the 23rd of July 2021. And today's Millwall news, bit of a mixed bag going on, but we're going to start with this. This is from Matt Smith, interview with the London News Online.co.uk, which is the South London Press's online website. And it says, Matt Smith, this is the strongest Millwall squad since I've been here. Matt Smith reckons that Millwall boasts their strongest squad since he arrived in SE16, and now it is the time for them to deliver in the Championship. The target man, 32, is heading into his third campaign with the Lions after signing a 12-month contract extension this summer. And Smith, who has scored 58 goals in 255 appearances in England's second tier, is optimistic about the future. It is a little more than a fortnight before Millwall, who have twice finished 8th in their past 4 seasons in the Championship, kick off a derby with a derby at QPR. I can't speak too much for the other teams in the division, because other squads are taking shape and it's a bit strange with COVID in the market, Smith told the South London Press. But looking at ourselves, it's the strongest team we've had in 3 years I've been here, and it's the season I'm going to be most positive about. We've got a really good set of lads and we've had a couple of years to really gel. There's a brilliant team spirit, probably the best I've experienced, but also a really good quality. It should make for an exciting season. It's down to us now to produce. The Lions have made 5 signings in the window: Benica Phoebe, Daniel Ballard, Scott Malone, George Saville and George Long. Millwall have 3 friendlies left to play. They cancelled Saturday's fixture at AFC Bournemouth, but have lined up different opposition closer to home, which he's not going to tell us. It's a secret. Shh. After that comes a trip to Gillingham on Tuesday, before another away match next Saturday at League One promotion favourites Ipswich Town. Asked if he already had his starting lineup in mind to face the R's, Rowett replied, "You have always got it in your head a little bit because that's how you build a team. You're looking at some areas where you feel you need to strengthen. In order to strengthen those areas, you need to know which areas you're quite happy with. So I've got a rough idea. What I have got this season is a much stronger squad. I've got a squad with much more options available to it and probably a lot of players similar in quality. I could probably look at 3 or 4 positions and there are 2 players battling it out, that there is nothing between. That's fabulous, exactly what you want. Pre-season is about players having the opportunity to perform and push their way into the team. We will probably start to look in the Gillingham game, and particularly Ipswich, as the ones that are a bit more towards the way the team might look for QPR. Yeah, so Gary Rowett is happy that there are 2 players in the same position that are exactly the same in quality. There's a saying in the NFL, if you've got 2 starting quarterbacks, you don't have a starting quarterback. I think it goes like that. Basically saying, if you've got 2 quarterbacks that are good enough to start, that are first choice, then you don't have you don't have a quarterback. Because it's a hierarchical exercise. Football, the best man wins. Quality, competition, sporting competition, and not only from Millwall versus other teams in the league, but against the players themselves and against each other. Now, I suppose that's what's going to happen now. You've got 2 players going head to head for each position, and the best man will win, but if they're kind of similar, then you're kind of wasting the one that doesn't win. And what it might end up doing is we're going to see massive rotation just to keep everyone happy, because if you're good enough to be in the first team but you're not, because there's someone playing in your position, and Rowett's going to have to keep switching the team around. Will that be a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, we've got a few midweek games. I don't think it's going to be as bad as last season, but so that might be an advantage if we've got a few midweek games switching the players out. But doing it every other game, playing one team on a Saturday, switching like 8 players, and then playing on the Wednesday, and then going back to the original 8 players from the week before on the next Saturday, that's going to be kind of rough rough. But we'll see how we go. Matt Smith's happy with the squad. Barrett's seems happy with the squad. So we'll see how we go. We will see how we go. And there's a friendly tomorrow, but we don't know who it is. The only thing we know is that it's closer to Millwall than Bournemouth. I wonder where that could be. And I wonder if they'll play it in the midday sun. Well, it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I don't think they're going to get sunstroke or heat stroke from playing it tomorrow midday, so they should be alright. Moving on now to this story from news@den.co.uk, and it's about the youth. It says, young Millwall forward is 8th from academy to feature this pre-season as underage work pays off. Sean O'Brien became the latest Millwall Academy product to feature for the first team in pre-season, as boss Gary Rowett said the club has seen the fruits of work at underage level. O'Brien came on in the 1-1 draw against Fulham on Tuesday. That means 8 players from the Lions underage structure featured in preparations for the 21-22 season. Mitchell's Billy and Alex, Danny McNamara, Ben Thompson, Junior Tenzia, Marlon Romeo and Tyler Burry. Attacker O'Brien, 19, is a set-piece specialist who was part of the Millwall side that reached the FA Youth Cup quarter-finals in 2019-20 before they lost 1-0 to Chelsea. He's been a regular in boss Kevin Nugent and assistant Paul Robinson's under-23 side and has scored 2 goals in 2 games for them this pre-season. He also scored the club's under-23 goal of the year last season. O'Brien came on for Billy Mitchell against the Cottages in a workout at Calman Road. We've got some good young players now, Gary Rowett said. We're starting to see the fruits of a lot of that work in the academy and at under-23 level with Nuge and Robbo. We've got the likes of Alex Mitchell, Junior, Tyler, players like that we've featured in pre-season. Sean today, it's important for us to do that. It's good opportunities for them as well to be out there playing those type of games. All of those players are trying to take the next step. Ryan Lendon made his first appearance in pre-season against Fulham as he looks to be involved against Gillingham and Ipswich next week. Rowett added, Lenny came on for 20 minutes, he had a few training days and we used the game as a little bit of training game for him. So rather than him training on his own, we thought 20 minutes in the game with a little bit of a top up afterwards was better and he got through it fine. He looked a little bit rusty, but he will do him the world of good. Getting back out there after so long, it was good to see him. And then they've added a clip of Sean O'Brien goal from last season. Yeah, it is good, isn't it? All these youngsters coming through, and you wonder what the next move for Sean O'Brien is. I mean, he's only 19. You would imagine he'll be playing at least the first half of the season in the under-23s, and then after Christmas, maybe they look to loan him out somewhere. I would imagine at the level that he's at least Conference South, if we're lucky, maybe Conference, and he should get some game time there, and we'll see how he goes. And then next year he'll look to push on, and we'll see how we get on. Yeah, it is good. It's very, very good. Moving on now to this story, also from news@den.co.uk. This is Millwall Chief Executive on plans for the return of fans to the Den and adapting to any changes. Millwall Chief Executive Steve Kavanagh has urged fans to work with us if there are teething problems when the Den reopens at normal capacity next month. England moved to step 4 of easing COVID measures last Monday, and currently that means supporters return to grounds without any restrictions. Asterix. Kavanagh said the club will deal with any variables and curveballs that come their way, but the Lions are planning for normal operations. Kavanagh said fans can decide if they want to wear masks, but that won't be an enforced measure. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Showing away. Fuck off Ipswich. The last time the Den was fully open was for the Championship game against Bristol City on February 29, 2020, a week before their last game before the suspension of football. Kavanagh and a group of his friends completed a charity ride for Prostate Cancer UK from the Den to AFC Bournemouth last Friday, and he used a cycling analogy as plans for a full reopening continue. I asked for the fans to be a little bit patient with us, Kavanagh told News at Den. It's like riding a bike, running the football club. Sometimes when you first get on, you're a little bit wobbly. We will have teething problems and issues, and I need the fans to work with us and certainly not behave the way many of us witnessed at Wembley before the European Championship final this month. We've said we're going to have a reset for the fans. We always knew the importance of fans, but at times we've built ourselves up because of issues over the years, and what we're going to try and do is reset that and put a level of trust back to the people in a way. Boris is with the virus. I hope we can make that irreversible, but I'm not going to make the same commitment Boris has made. Hopefully it is irreversible, but it only takes one idiot to set us back. We want the fans to come here, enjoy their time, understanding that sometimes we can have complex issues thrown at us. There's talk of COVID passports like at Wembley. If we have to do that, and we're not planning on doing that at this stage, but if it then has to come in, then we'll all work together, and we'll need the fans to work with us, and we'll deal with it. What we want ultimately is fans in the ground enjoying the football and getting behind the team. If that means we'll have to go an extra few miles to do that, then we will do so. But it's going to need the fans to come with us and work with us on a journey as well. The EFL put a statement out, and I'm taking it that we're back to, for the moment, normal operations. We will try to make some accommodations. We're working on those now, and we'll announce those. That's worrying, no? That is worrying. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? That is worrying. So we know it's not going to be masks. So what are they doing? At the moment, there aren't COVID certificates to come in. That's not on the agenda, but it may come in. We'll look at other things we can try to do to make sure there's as much airflow and all the other standard things. At the moment, we're not being asked to enforce masks, so we won't do that. Obviously, if people want to wear masks to feel more comfortable, we will find ways to accommodate that, but we will work with the boundaries that we've all had to work with in the last 18 months, because all I want is to get as many people in the ground. Responsibility is with the individual, and we'll try to accommodate people as best we can with what they want to do. Kavanagh and the administrative staff at the club have had intense months since football was put on hold after COVID-19 infections soared in the country. There was initially doubt over whether the 2021 season could resume before the brief return of fans at a capacity of 2,000 for 2 games in December, and the fallout following the booing of taking the knee gesture. The summer reopening schedule for June 21 was then postponed before this week's lifting on most restrictions raised hope that football can return as normal for the second week of August. I've got a great team of people here. The staff have been phenomenal, Kavanagh said. Their ability to adapt to what's in front of them and change and move at rapid pace and be nimble and agile has been critical. Everyone here has done that. We've all pulled together as a group of people and that proverbial team. It's enabled us to adapt what's going on. Their support has allowed us to manage and handle what's been thrown at us. I think those variables and curveballs are going to keep on coming. I'm sure we'll adapt to them. And the asterisk says, which was at the top of the thing, where is it? So the asterisk in the first line, and the asterisk was for this sentence: the situation continues to evolve, with the vaccines minister suggesting this week that COVID passports could be a requirement to enter any crowded venue. And that's because they're trying to scare young people into taking this vaccine. So he said there that they're working on a few things and they're going to announce them shortly. Now, he said they're not using COVID certificates and they're not using face masks. That's out of the window. So what are they going to do? Well, here, this is from gov.uk, and here is the guidance for working safely during coronavirus events and attractions. Now, here's the thing: it might not be the law, legal, you might not be legally required to do something, but there are other things that can influence you and force you to do certain things. I.e., if you are a provider and if you're a venue, you need a insurance certificate in order to host events. Otherwise, you won't be insured if some nasty shit goes down. So the insurance company can say, if you don't do this, you are not covered. And that's how That's how they get you. So it's not the law, but it's a private business that refuses to insure you, even though they've taken your fucking money, as a lot of insurance companies do. They take your money, and then when you've got a claim, they say, "Oh, hang on a minute, did you read the small print? Yeah, you're not covered, and we're not paying out. So go fuck yourself." But anyway, so this is from gov.uk. What do they say? 6 steps to protect yourself, your staff, and your customers, i.e. supporters, during coronavirus. Health and safety risk assessment. Everyone has to do that anyway, basically, but you have to do one now with COVID in mind, knowing what we know about COVID. Turn people with COVID-19 symptoms away. So how are you going to do that? Are they going to have airport, like infrared kind of thing, like they have at the airport? Which they had them at the airports for SARS, the original SARS back in the day, like was it 10 years ago or so. They made you walk through these things, and if you were glowing red, they would pull you aside and say, "You've got a fever, you're not coming in." But how are they going to do that? If they do that, are they going to point a temperature laser at your forehead? And if you're too high, they send you back. So they're going to do that with everyone, with all 10,000 people there. Who knows what they're going to do? So you already mentioned this. Provide adequate ventilation. So, I mean, the ground's pretty ventilated as it is, I assume. Just thinking of a couple of issues which just come to mind for me. So the turnstiles, the people in the turnstiles, they're basically sitting in little boxes there. So is that going to be safe for them or not? If that's not well ventilated, really, realistically, maybe they let them sit with the door open. I don't know how they get in there. Maybe you have to scan your own ticket. Maybe they don't have the people in there. You scan your own ticket, because they do that at Wembley. I've been to Wembley a couple of times, and you have to scan your own ticket. There's someone there. It's like the shit at the supermarkets, the self checkout thing. So you got like 10 self checkout things, and there's one geezer there, just going to everyone, just watching everyone, making sure they're not stealing things and helping anyone who needs help. So it might be like that. So there'll be a turnstile person outside the turnstile on the street, and you have to scan your own thing to get in, and if it doesn't work, and then they'll have to get involved, who knows. There might be one on the inside, one on the outside, that kind of shit. Another thing is the concourses. Now, are they going to say no congregating in the concourses? Will they turn the TVs off? And now one of the main reasons that people congregate on the concourses is to drink alcoholic drinks, e.g. lager. I think lager is the only drink they sell there, is it? I think it is. Do they do bitter? They might do bitter. I'm not too sure. I think they just sell 3 types of lager, which is a bit shit, to be honest with you. So, horror of all horrors, they've been building up this bar around the back. Do they say no alcohol sales in the ground because we don't want you sitting on the concourses? And do they turn the TVs off as well? So basically, when you come in with your ticket, you scan yourself in, you walk into the concourse, you walk up the stairs, and you go into your seat. That's it. You don't go on you don't stand on the concourse. If you want to order food, there's probably going to be a queue in, like a snake thing for queuing. You get your food, you get your drink, and you fuck off up to your seat. You don't stand in a concourse. That's the kind of thing that I'm thinking that they might be trying to do. I can see a few people having a moan up about that. A lot of people, they really don't. They do. I know a few people they stand on the concourse the whole game, and they watch the game on the TV, and they just down pint after pint after pint while watching the game on the TV. Then their mates come down at half time, they have a chat, all that crack on. Then their mates might stay into the second half for a bit with them for a drink, and then they'll go back up to their seat, and then the original guy will still be there drinking, and then he'll piss off about as it comes to like the 85th minute, or he'll stumble down the stairs and off into Alden Road. So I know a few people do that, but so that's I think that might be on the way out, especially they're building up this bar around the back. And before, the only bar you could get in was Harry's bar. Again, with Harry's bar, will that be closed off? They have windows in there. Can they open the windows in there? That might be okay. Will they reduce the amount of people that can go in there? But I think they're building up this bar. They're trying to get bands out there to come and play. So maybe they'll stop selling alcohol on the concourses, which I don't think the company that runs the concession stands will be too happy about. But it is what it is, because it's against the law to take it's against the law to drink alcohol in view of the playing pitch. This is some law brought in after Hillsborough, so you can thank the Liverpool fans for that. Yes, it's technically against the law. The only other way that they could get around the law is if they have like, they're not going to do this, but if they have like drones or something, pull up a massive curtain or a massive plastic screen that blocks the view of the pitch, because literally the way the law is worded is alcoholic drinks may not be consumed in view of the pitch. So you take away the view of the pitch, you take away the problem. Then the fans can go up into the. But then when the second half starts and you got to bring the curtain back down, and people are still drinking, you're gonna tell them to down it in one and stop drinking. So that's why that's not gonna happen. But I think possibly they'll tell you not to be on the concourse. You either have to be coming into the ground, queuing up to get food and drink, and then going up to your seat. And I think they'll want you basically just go straight up to your seat, up into the outdoor area. I can imagine they'll be doing that. Again with the toilets, the toilets have got double doors on them. The ventilation is fucking awful in there. People go in there to smoke, so there's basically no air in there anyway. Although maybe the nicotine and the cigarette smoke and the weed smoke will kill the virus. I don't know. Maybe it'll cling to it and drag it up into the air and stick it to the wall, and it'll be stuck on to the wall with some nicotine. So when he says they're thinking of changes and things that to do, and he's asking for fans to be accommodating, I think that might be something they might be thinking about, is no congregating on the concourses, which is going to be a big culture shock to most people. And it's going to be kind of difficult, because when you're in a stand and it's not fully full, there's empty seats here and there, and you're sitting here, your mate's sitting over the other side of his family, and that at half time you can come together where the empty seats are, have a chat, have a little bit of a chat, and then when the second half starts, go back to where you're sitting with your group, and he goes back to his group. But if it's full, especially on that Portsmouth game, you're basically, where are you going to congregate? On the stairs? They're not going to want you to do that. So how are you going to talk to your mates and that? Yeah, I don't know. I think that they might be in their minds to do something like that. No standing on the concourses. I don't have a problem with that, to be honest with you. Maybe they'll want a staggered finish as well, in terms of not everyone leaving at the same time. I've done it both ways in the past. Recently, the last couple of seasons, I've been one of those geezers. When the injury time's announced, I go down to the concourse. I watch the rest. I watch the injury time on the screen, because I know there's fuck all chance we're gonna score. There's more of a chance that the opposition's gonna score, and generally when they do, or when the final whistle goes, I'm bombing down the stairs and I'm out the den, and I'm on my way. But I've also had it where I'll stay behind to clap off the team as they come off, like till the last players come to the sideline. And I noticed when I did that, which is very rarely do I do that. I did that once, and I noticed like literally the place is fucking empty. Everyone's gone. I think the last player was like Murray Wallace, because we were going towards the Coblow Lane stand, and he was on the left back. So by the time he got over, literally by the time he walked out, he shook everyone's hand. By the time he come over to the tunnel entrance, basically the stand was fucking empty, and I was on my own, literally. And the stewards are looking at you like, you know you can leave, yeah. So I think they might do something like that if don't all leave at once. I don't know how they're gonna word it. If you're not in a rush, can you stay behind for 5 minutes while we stagger the start? Just politely ask those who are not in a rush. Most people are in a rush though, you know, you got trains to catch, shit like that. Although they kind of mess with the train timetable, and they had the train towards London Bridge, I think it gets there like 45, so it's kind of fucked everyone. Then the next one is like 8 past or some stupid thing like that. So by the time you walk around to South Bermondsey, you're waiting for like five minutes for the train. It's really stupid the way they do it, but what are you gonna do? So there have been times where you're waiting a long time for a train, especially the other way as well. If you're going southbound towards Croydon or that, you can be waiting like 20 minutes. It's a bit of a joke. So they might do that. So they might do no standing on the concourse unless you're queuing to buy stuff. They might do staggered exit. Who knows what they're gonna do? But there seems to be something, and they seem to be worried about the fans. Where was it? So all the other standard things. At the moment, we're not being asked to enforce masks, so we won't be doing that. Here. We'll try to make some accommodations. We're working on these now, and we'll announce those. So, are they worried about that? Are they worried about the fans kicking off? Are they trying? Here's another thing. Are they trying to sell as many tickets as they can before they announce what they're going to do, so that people think, well, fuck it, I bought the ticket now. What am I going to do? I'm still going to go. So maybe it's that as well. They're trying to sell as many tickets as they can to that the Portsmouth game, the Blackburn Rovers game, before they announce what they're going to do. Because maybe a lot of people won't like what they announce, what they're going to do, and they probably wouldn't buy a ticket if they knew what they were going to do. So maybe there's that as well. So maybe a bit of sneaky shenanigans going on there. But so let's carry on this. So in some places, a CO2 monitor will help identify ventilation. Okay, clean more often. Now that would be fucking nice. Cause up in block 1, I can literally point to you bird shit and say that's been there for 3 or 4 years. You can tell where you're supposed to sit, where you normally sit, by the pattern of the bird shit on the wall and on the, when you know the tunnel thing. There's like a wall above as you come out. When you get up to the seat, you get a chance. There's a wall in front of you and no seats. There's bird shit all up and fucking down there. It hasn't been cleaned for fucking ages. So yes, that will be fantastic if you could clean more often. And another thing they might do, they got stewards. So they've got stewards. I don't know if you've been on a train recently. You've seen these people in purple vests. They get on the train and they go along the train and they just spray and wipe the bars and the toilet door handle and stuff like that. So you could see them going around during the game, just spraying and wiping. Yep. Enable people to check in at your venues there. So even though it's not the law anymore, they still want you to check in with this QR code. It's still test and trace, but I mean, loads of people have just deleted this app. This is more trouble than it's worth, so crack on with that. Yeah, so there you go. So what will they do? We do not know. But they seem to be reticent to announce it. But we'll see what they do. The insurance risk assessment and all that health and safety bollocks. Even normally it makes no sense, so we'll see what happens there. In disabled section, will that be separate? Will that be special privileges there? They have the big blue doors in the corner of the stands. Maybe they'll open them to get the ventilation in. Who knows what they're gonna do? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're gonna finish today with this. So the Lions are seeking a face painter for family stand, and this is from millfc.co.uk, and that is someone who puts paint on faces, not someone who's a portrait painter. They say Millwall Football Club is seeking a face painter for Zampa's family stand on match days, with supporters beginning to return to the den in their droves following the relaxation of COVID-19 restrictions. The face painter will be handily placed at home games to add the experience of our Junior Lions Day. For full details on the role and to apply, please email support liaison officer at millwallplc.com. So there you go, face painter. Just interesting there. Interesting. Is anyone a face painter? Do you know anyone who's a face painter? Crack on with it. There you go. Yeah, crack on. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.